Hello, my name is Gray.
And my name is Crystal.
And this is Bust the Asian Beauties, a supernatural commentary podcast where I, someone who has seen this show several times,
And I, someone who only knows the show through social media, discuss every single episode of Supernatural from start to finish. Also, we are both Asian.
both Asian. For today's episode, we will be discussing Season 3, Episode 9, Malleus Malleficarum. Written by Ben Edlund, directed by Robert Singer. Hi,
Oh.
Ben.
Hi, Robert.
We meet again.
So often do we meet. It is very sad.
Well, yeah, what has Ben Edlund done? But, I think the last time we talked about Ben Edlund, I mentioned that, he has some episodes that I'm like, oh, the way he writes women is so fascinating. And by fascinating, I mean misogynistic. And now we see it again.
Yeah, what is Ben Edlund's personal relationship with the W slur? I
The
wish
thing
to
is,
know.
I'm wondering, because we do, the bit at the end of the app where we rate the episode based on, how misogynistic it is or stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And I was wondering, how would I personally rate this episode in that term? Because, in some way, they were trying to do a, you shouldn't be misogynistic, right? Are they? Portrayal of misogyny is not misogyny, but also at this episode, it is, though.
Yeah. I don't know if they're doing a you shouldn't be misogynistic thing. I think Ruby's don't call me bitch is similar to Casey's, calling Dean a bitch in response to him calling her a bitch. But, also, I feel like Ruby and to a lesser extent Casey also, say misogynistic things. So I feel like their don't call me bitches are more just I'm not like other girls and therefore I should get the privileges of not being misogynied, you know?
The reason why Dean stopped is because he realized that she used to be a human being, or was it because what is the reason why he stopped? Is it because he suddenly realized that you shouldn't call women horrible things? What is the reason?
I think it's just kind of cringe to call someone a bitch when they saved your life by pouring black liquid in your mouth. You feel a little embarrassed after that.
It's shame that's keeping him from being a misogynist. Maybe he should be ashamed all the time.
For only $5 a month, we can shame Dean Winchester even more so that he never says bitch again.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, every time I watch an episode of Supernatural, I'm like, is it that bad? I just was this episode. I mean, again, they were trying to do something. But, the part where they were just screaming at each other and Dean was just, saying,
yeah,
bitch, skag, over and over again. I was like, god damn, they're really doing it this episode.
Right. Yeah.
But I still have no idea how we're gonna rate it later. So that's that's a question for later.
Yeah. Well, should we get into it?
Yeah, let's get into it. No, not yet. I asked you what you know about this episode first. Yeah.
So I know Astaroth is in this episode, though. Do we hear her name in this episode?
No.
But how do we know her name if she's dead already?
No idea. No idea.
And yeah, I know we get some Ruby backstory in this episode that she used to be a witch training under Astaroth, that they had some kind of a sexual arrangement going on at a point in time. And this is when we find out that demons used to be humans, gasp. And that this was just gonna be a witch episode in general. But yeah, I didn't know more specifics than that.
I knew about the witch and I knew about Ruby and being a witch in the past, but I didn't know that we didn't know that that demons
Oh.
used to be human. I didn't know that.
I knew because I like remember how like in my time of dying, like it was a reveal that all ghosts are like humans who stayed too long and you would become evil if you stayed on
Yeah.
too long. And that was like a big shocker to Dean, so I was like, yeah, it makes sense that we're gonna have part 2 of Dean realizes that after he dies he's going to become corrupted in a way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
get
like I
that.
already knew this, so I feel like I don't understand the gravity of it
Mm-hmm.
that would exist for people at the time watching or for Dean. But like that's neat.
We begin in the house of this couple,
Oh, I
and they're
want to
like,
note one. Sorry, I want to note one thing about the road so far, which is that it has the Ruby voiceover of like, Sam, you're gonna have to do things that go against that gentle nature of yours, and that goes over a clip of Sam killing Gordon in Fresh
yeah,
Blood. That's what's in the road so far, and that
yeah.
I didn't like it. Not a fan.
I didn't. I felt vindicated because that was what I was saying last episode, right? Like they didn't
Yeah.
do it explicitly, but that's what they're trying to say, and it's not a good
Yeah.
thing to say. So I felt like, see, I was right. That's what I
Yeah.
felt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wish I wasn't though. Anyway, yeah, we started at the house of this lady and her boyfriend, and
Yeah.
why am I
She's
giving
black
these
and
couple?
he's white.
Why is this
and
relevant?
It does the couple or their races?
Yeah, the races.
Oh, I was just annoyed that he got to live twice,
Oh
and
yeah.
then she died in the opening.
He should have died in the opening.
Yeah, society. If this man died in the opening, he was
I
cheating.
mean, he's the
on
one
her,
who
too.
cheated. Yeah, he was the one who cheated.
And he was the one who broke it off. There's like literally no reason for the first witch to go after his wife.
Yeah. I mean, if you get cheated on, if you cheat and then like you break up with the person you're cheating with, do you tell the person you're cheating at? Like, hey, I was cheating on you, but what's the etiquette for that kind of situation? I think just don't
I
cheat should be the etiquette, but like
Yeah,
in
I
this
think
specific
you
situation,
should tell your first partner because I think that they need that information to make an informed decision about whether or not they want to stay with you.
yeah, yeah, perhaps.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyway, that's it for our segment of relationship advice with Crystal and Gray. Yeah, so the lady they're like about to have sex when the lady goes, "No, give me a minute, I'm just gonna freshen up." So she goes to the bathroom and she starts freshening up by brushing her teeth. And then we cut back and forth to her brushing her teeth and like somebody in like a room full of candles and occult objects and stuff like that doing witchcraft over a toothbrush.
Yeah.
And it's like the visuals are actually pretty fun. Like I think.
Right, because
Wait.
it's just her mouth, like the witch's mouth, and then like
Yeah.
blood dripping on the
And then-
toothbrush.
Exactly. And it's super fun. And I liked it. But basically what happens is after she brushes her teeth, like one of her tooth gets loose and she pulls it out. And then another teeth goes loose, pulls it out. And then she starts like spitting blood and teeth, and she like starts screaming like, "What's happening to me?" and calling Paul her BF husband, whatever. And Paul like comes up to her, but the door locks itself, and he's like slamming the door, but he can't get in. And then when he finally is able to get in, she's on the floor, collapse, dead.
Yeah.
So R.I.P.
How did that toothbrush not look stained at all? There was a lot of blood on it, and the witch stabbed it with a knife. It looked like a new toothbrush.
Her toothbrush on the...
Like, the toothbrush that Janet used looked so
No,
clean
but, like...
and unbled on.
No, but, like, she was bleeding on a different toothbrush.
Oh, right. It was... Yeah, right, because there was the weird roast chicken later, too. You're right. It was just a... Yeah. Anyway,
a decoy
rip
brush.
to Janet. Sorry, man. So, after that, we cut to Sam and Dean interviewing the husband, Paul. Dean's asking about what happened and if Paul had, or if Janet had any enemies, and Sam is rooting around the bathroom to see if there's anything there that would clue them in. And Sam finds a hex bag under the sink, so we got that. And Paul is being very not talky about whether or not Janet would have an enemy. And they head out and discuss. And yeah, have we seen hex bags before?
I think we did some with Missouri, right? But not specifically this.
Right. I feel like it's not a hex bag if the point is not to cause harm. So yeah,
it's not to hex someone. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess these are our first hex bags. So the hex bag lore is that you put animal bones in there, and also something that the person you're hexing owns. So they've decided that, this is probably a witch. Sam says that this is not some new age wicked water dowser, this is old world black magic, which implies that there's like a brand of witchcraft in the Americas that's chill, and then like ancient European witchcraft is unchill. Do we get more on like witch lore about that later?
No, actually.
Okay.
I don't recall.
Okay.
As they say in court, but like and I don't recall. I'm trying to remember like which episodes, but the only one I can remember is the one where two sisters are witches and they end up like murdering each other, like because Rowena was like murder each other, and then they did. That was super fun, and I'm looking forward to that episode. I love sister murder. Anyway,
Golden Time, there's witches in that one, but I also don't.
Yeah, the one where it's like, lore. Is she pretty? Well, she's dead. That's the one.
Yeah. Okay. So, Dean announces that he hates witches because they have bodily fluids everywhere, and it's unsanitary, which is a fun reason to hate witches, I guess.
I mean, if you're gonna hate them for something, choose the most, like, unreasonable one, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree. And he makes a pun where he says Blair bitch instead of Blair Witch Project, which, honestly, I'm surprised that there weren't more puns with witch and bitch rhyming in this episode. All the bitches are reserved for Ruby. Disappointing.
That's your, that's where you draw the line in terms of comedy. Like,
yes.
This is the bar. of how funny things should be.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And Sam says that the problem is that witches are human, like everyone else. Also interesting. And they decide to explain to us how crime shows work by going, if we find the motive, and then Dean finishes, we find the murderer, and then they drive off very pleased with themselves that they've explained to us how crime shows work.
They, this whole scene, they're in the car, right? And the whole time, the camera is, like, in the back of the car and, like, looking forward to them. And it's, like, kind of shaky. It's, like, handheld. And the whole time I was like, is someone gonna come out of the backseat?
Right.
Yeah. Like, it felt very much like that. But that's not what happens. Unfortunate.
Sad.
Someone should have attacked Dean right there and then.
Yeah.
And it should have been Ruby.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we go to this lady who it's like she looks stressed, she looks frazzled, and she's like getting out of her car, and then another woman. I forgot which woman this is. Is this the blonde one or the brunette one or the demon?
The person that she's talking to is Amanda, who is the witch who was cursing Janet earlier. So none of the ones that you said.
No, but who's Elizabeth?
Oh, Elizabeth is the brunette one. She's the one who lives the longest because she's the prettiest, and that's how Supernatural works.
She's the one who's hesitant. Like, she's like, I don't want to do this anymore. Anyway, so that lady.
We shouldn't kill people.
Oh, they're not killing people. People are just dying. There's a difference.
Yeah.
I'm defending her for everything. Yeah, but so this lady asks Amanda, like, oh, are you okay? You didn't go to book club last night. And Amanda is like, oh yeah, I'm fine. I'm good. Don't worry about me. And then she goes into her house and her face like changes, like she turns very serious. And she gets out a chicken.
Right.
Roasted chicken from her oven. And it's full of worms and maggots and bugs. And it's fucking disgusting. And like this whole scene, I watched through it, like the next scene. But the entire time I was like, I don't want to be watching this. Can I skip it? I should probably skip it. I don't want to watch this. Can I skip it? I should probably... Like, I was so disgusted. But what happens...
I like this prop a lot. They really got those worms and maggots crawling.
Yeah, they did. Do you think they're real? What's the deal?
Oh. Huh. I mean, given
they're not real maggots.
About bugs behind the scenes, maybe. Maybe they have released 1,000 live bees in there too, just for fun.
1,000 live maggots. I mean, you can probably buy maggots, right? Because, like, lizards eat them and shit.
Do they? I thought lizards ate...
well, they eat worms, yeah?
Yeah, you can buy worms.
Yeah. And these maggots are fat, girl. They're fat. But what happens next is there's this guy. I did not recognize him. Apparently, this is Paul, so like, the husband of the girl who died earlier.
Patrick Bateman smooth skin.
I mean, I did not recognize him. I was like, who is this guy? And then when later they were like, he killed your wife and now he's gonna kill you or something. I was like, oh my god, it's him. But basically, so this guy is eating a burger in a car alone all by himself. And I felt so sad for him. But,
his wife just died.
I didn't know that. I thought he was waiting for a date. I legitimately thought he was like waiting for a date. So I was sad for him. And he was like, just eating a burger, listening to the radio. And then we cut back and forth to that. And Amanda
who has changed outfits into her sexy witch outfit of black lace
So
and
true.
lingerie.
I love it. I love it. I know we keep on complaining about like women having to be pretty and then die. But like I love the sexy evil woman outfit that Supernatural always does. I love it. I think everyone should wear it, including Sam and Dean.
Oh, definitely.
But
Sam's demon blood era should have just been him in that.
In the sexy black dress, exactly.
Yes.
But so she starts doing the curse thing with the chicken, and then she like stabs it, and Paul takes a bite out of his burger. Well, first the music changes, and the song is like, "I have you under my spell," blah blah blah, and it's super fun. And he takes a bite out of his burger, and he's like, "Oh, there's something in my mouth. I'm gonna." And then he looks at his burger, and he starts screaming, crying, moaning, throwing up, pretty much literally, right?
Yeah.
And because he's like also like heartburn situation, like he's like choking and shit, because he's dying. And then Sam and Dean come in, and they get him out of the car. They look for a hex bag. They burn the hex bag, and they're like, "Dude, you were gonna die. Who was like, who's mad at you? Tell us." And he says that there was this woman that he was cheating with, that he called off the cheating with, and blah blah blah. And it's Amanda. And then we go back to Amanda, and she's dying. Like her wrists are being slit, and she like falls face down on her desk, all bloody and shit. R.I.P.
Wait, did Astaroth cause this, or just burning the hex bag cause this, or what happened there?
No, I think it was caused by the demon lady.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Rip to Amanda. Okay, earlier when she and Elizabeth are talking, Elizabeth calls her sweetie, right?
Elizabeth? Yeah, why? What's the deal?
Oh, like, is that gay? Do straight women call each other sweetie?
I think women just call other people sweetie. Like, that's like a girl thing. Hey, sweetie. Like, American women, don't they?
They call, like, children sweetie. I feel like you don't really call a peer sweetie unless they are, like, your husband or something.
Perhaps. Maybe they are a lesbian coven of witches.
Yeah. Good for them.
Good for them. Also, I have a funny story related to this.
Okay.
I was like fucking grade 6 when I started watching Supernatural, right? Mm-hmm. And then 7th grade, I moved to a different place, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to start calling people buddy, just like Dino and Chester. And for a while, I was that person who, like, called people buddy.
Yes.
And it's, like, weird because my accent was very Filipino back then. Like, I did not know how to speak English. Like, you know, like, because reading it and speaking it are very different things. Yeah. So, like, I didn't know how to speak it. So I was like, imagine me with like the roughest Filipino accent, like, "Hey, buddy," and it's yeah, I was that person, and I loved it.
Good for you.
Yeah. Honestly, good for me.
I am assuming you made hundreds of friends with this strategy.
No.
Damn.
No, absolutely not. And I mostly did it to people that I forgot their name. So like, hey. Buddy.
Oh, yeah. The way Gatsby says old sport because people assume that he's forgotten Nick's name. Yeah, that's very good.
If I read The Great Gatsby earlier in life, I would have probably started calling people old sport. I was that yeah, I was that gullible.
So we cut to Amanda's house, and Sam and Dean enter, and she's there. She's dead. She died on a glass table, which is kind of a fun visual, because there's, like, shots of under the glass table with all the blood. So they see that there's a lot of witchcraft things in here. And Dean walks into a rabbit hanging dead from the ceiling. And he gets really upset about this, where he's like, fucking witches, blah blah blah. And he's like, why does the rabbit always get screwed in the deal? Poor little guy.
You know what? I am Dean is a rabbit person true thing. He should have,
Okay.
at the end of Supernatural, he should have gotten a rabbit. Like, Miracle should have been a rabbit. That's my truth. Because, like, there's a scene in, like, Remember Dean or something like that.
Regarding Dean, yeah. Where
Regarding
he's
Dean,
cuddling a
where he-
rabbit.
Yeah, and I think that's super cute. And he should have
is
been a
really
rabbit
cute.
guy. He should have not been a dog guy. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But, like, do you think that's, like, he's getting over his trauma? I can't even say it seriously. It's so stupid. Whatever.
Anyway.
Anyway.
So, Dean's theory about this is that Amanda killed Janet and Paul and then decided to kill herself just, like, for the aesthetic. Honestly, so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Sam
She
finds
killed
that
them
there's-
and then she freaked out.
Yeah.
That's a joke for just the two of us.
Yes. And for anyone who listens to Samia, I guess.
Yeah. But just for clarity, I don't listen to Samia. That's just
That's
crystal
true.
bullshit. Yeah.
Ow, okay. So, Sam finds that there's a hex bag under the table, and that is what killed Janet, so Dean's theory is incorrect. And Dean's like, we got some witch-on-witch violence. And he calls the police to report... Oh, shit, I forgot her name. Amanda.
Amanda. Yeah.
Okay, so he calls the police to report Amanda's dead body, but hangs up before he can say his name. And they're like, okay, seems like we have a coven, and we cut to said coven.
Do you think it's stupid that they called the police while they were still there? It definitely is, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess
You
they
seem
just assumed
unconvinced.
they could get out fast enough. I don't know how long it takes for police to arrive.
Yeah. You know what concerns me is if a crime ever happens around me, I don't know the number of the cops. So, like, how
Oh.
will I report a dead body? I don't know. I have no idea. Let's Google it right now. What is the equivalent of 911 in the Philippines?
I feel like if you find a dead body, you could also Google it while standing over the dead body and then call that number.
Oh my god, it's also 911. That's wonderful. Now I know.
Neat. Okay, yeah. If you ever need to report a dead body, now you know.
Now I know. So we cut to the coven, and it's
Yeah.
the couple of ladies that we saw earlier who are gardening.
Yeah.
And they're like joking around with one of the husbands that like the husband is like, I know what you guys are really up to with this book club thing. Like it's all just gossip. When's the last time anyone ever brought the book? And they're like laughing like goodbye, Robert. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Honestly, sometimes I think to myself, wouldn't it be so appealing to be like a suburban wife? I think it would be fun. Honestly, I
Yeah.
think it would be fun. Yeah.
I feel like this is
Like-
Lisa's thought process before she invites Dean to move in with her.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I think it can be fun. And this women, they are having fun, so good for them.
Yeah, And I do think this is a pretty fun concept, a witch coven that's a suburban woman wife like book club is a fun idea, and I think that they do get some pretty good humor moments out of this.
Yeah, because especially like they're not evil. They're just like, let's just fix the mortgage, or like let's just get you to win raffles, which is quite fun.
Yeah.
Like it's like innocent witchcraft, except they sold their soul. So like,
Yeah,
uh-oh.
whoops.
Whoopsie. Also, have you ever joined a book club? What's your deal with that kind of situation?
Not really. Okay, I think in middle school there was a Jane Austen book club, like, club during lunch that was run by an English teacher. And me and
Oh.
my ex-fiance went, and it was terrible. Cause I
No.
feel it's like who would show up to a Jane Austen book club, right? I
That's
feel like that's
true.
all you
That's
have to
very
know.
true. Yeah. Was it just like gay women? What's the deal?
Oh no, it was like straight white women mostly who were like, "Oh,
Oh.
Darcy's so dreamy." And like I don't like it wasn't fun. Like we like would joke about how like Lizzie only married Darcy for the house, and they'd be like, "Do you really think that? You think they're not in love?" Like
No. They are in love
yeah.
though. That's your fault. That's your fault for insinuating that.
I think that love was an economical proposition back then, and that the house was a big part of it.
Yeah. I mean, I had a I tried to establish a book club within my friend group several times with several different
Oh,
friends. And they
yeah,
never worked out because like not everyone wants to read, or not everyone wants to read the thing that we're reading, or blah
right.
blah blah.
What were the
Yeah.
books that you tried to make everyone read?
I think I made some like there was this one where it was me and my high school friends, and it was like
Mm-hmm.
during high school, and I tried to make them read Leslie Jameson's The Empathy Exams, which is a
Okay.
collection of essays, and
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty. I like that book, but like I I don't know. We
Mm.
just never met. And then I had one where it's just a two-person book club, which I
Yeah.
like the idea of that because I think it's like so like like if it's a romantic situation, it's like so romantic. This time
Mm.
it was like a platonic friend, and it was like
Right.
such like a big connection to have with someone, to like
Yeah.
read book with them and just discuss it with them with the
Mm.
intention of discussing it with them. But we
Yeah.
read this art book, like this massive art book. I forgot the
Mm-hmm.
title, but it's like she had a physical copy and I downloaded a PDF, and it was
Yeah.
so difficult to read.
Yeah.
Like literally, I was way too stupid to read it and understand what's going on. Yeah, but it was so difficult to read, and I we just never got around to it. And even until now, we still joke around that like, hey, remember our book club?
Oh.
And yeah. Anyway, where are we? Oh, okay, we're talking about the
Uh,
book club. So
yeah,
this
book club
suburban
open.
book club, one of them enters, and she's like, she looks a bit bothered, and as the husband exits, she's like, we're just not gonna tell Ron. We're just not gonna tell him that Amanda died. They're picking up her body right now, and we're just not gonna pretend. We're just gonna pretend it's not happening. And the two of them, so Elizabeth and who's the other one?
Renee is the blonde one and Tammy's the demon one.
Oh, Elizabeth is the one
Elizabeth
we're
is the
talking
one
to
who's
right now.
bothered. Yeah.
Yeah. So Tammy and Renee, which are the other two people in the group, are like, come on. I mean, yes, people are dying, but do you really want to stop? Like, you got into a lot of raffles. You want a trip to Hawaii, and your husband got a raise. and I have been winning. My handmade pottery business has been booming or something, which I felt to my bones. To be clear, I don't do pottery, but I do crafts like crochet and knitting and stuff. So
Yeah.
I felt that to my bone, and honestly, good for her. I think more people should be into pottery, but Elizabeth eventually goes like, okay, yeah, fine. They like set up the table.
Sorry, Renee says that
Yeah,
they
what?
have to finish before Ron gets back from his fantasy football. Where do you go to a specific place for fantasy football? Are you just on your pewter?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're just on your phone, and it's such a like. What is fantasy football? It's like It's like betting, right?
Yeah, you like
It's
go
gambling.
on. Yeah, you like build a football team, and then you play games against other teams, and then you win money based off of the outcome.
It's like FIFA, the game. It's like the video game FIFA, but
Yeah,
like there's
probably.
money.
Yeah.
Well, that's fun, and by fun I mean kind of concerning. But like they're adults with their own money. Go live your
Yeah.
life.
Live your life.
uh, live your life. Yeah, and they start setting up the table and doing their witchcraft.
So later, Sam and Dean go to question Elizabeth as she's gardening. They point out that she's growing herbs that are out of season. And they say that they're detectives just questioning everyone who's friends with Amanda Burns. And they're like, did you know that she practiced witchcraft and there was satanic paraphernalia all around her house? And Elizabeth says, no, but she was an Episcopalian. I
Okay.
think it's such a funny line. Uh-huh.
I know it was a funny line, but the only thing I know about Episcopalian is it's a Christian denomination. But like, is that the only
Yeah.
relevant thing? Or am I missing
Yeah.
some other? That's it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I feel like it's considered like the chillest Christian denomination, but I'm not exactly sure why.
Yeah. Well, I also have no idea why. Let's proceed.
Right. So Renee and Tammy show up and they take charge of the situation and they're like, sorry detectives, like Elizabeth's clearly shaken up, so we need you to leave. Renee's full name is Renee Van Allen, which is a fun full name, I think.
Yeah.
Uh,
I love the name
and
Van Halen. That's like the
yeah.
name of a rock star. Blah, blah, blah. That's my rock star
Yeah.
voice.
Yeah. So 17 are like, okay, fine, we're leaving. And then the camera does this thing, courtesy of Robert Singer, where the three women are standing in a line, and it just pans slowly on their zoomed in faces, one by one, as ominous music plays. Just in case you didn't get from all the previous scenes that they'll be antagonists in some way.
Yeah. I
Thanks,
love
Robert.
Renee. I love Renee.
Yeah.
I think she's super fun. She's like,
Yeah.
what are you doing here, officers? She's obviously shaken up. And when she says, like, my name is Renee, Mrs. Renee Van Halen.
Allen.
Not Van Allen.
Mm.
Do you want me to spell that for you? And Sam's like, no, it's fine. And I think that's like, they're like literally, it's like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a funny word to say blank on blank violence, but I cannot think of one.
Huh. Well,
It's so fun.
yeah, I mean, Sam does become a suburban mom in later seasons, so.
Yeah. So it's suburban mom versus suburban mom violence. Exactly.
Yeah.
Military wife versus military cock.
So true.
Like, the violence.
Well, Sam's not the... Well, okay, wait, are we saying cuck
No,
okay,
I
cuck
don't
as in
know.
he cucked that guy.
Yeah, perhaps.
Yeah.
I don't know what the terminology is. And I will never know.
Yeah. Sad. So, now they're in the Impala and they're talking. So it turned out that all the herbs Elizabeth were growing were stuff used in witchcraft and poisons like belladonna and wolfsbane. And they also note that, right, Mrs. Renee Van Allen has won every single craft contest she's entered in the past 3 months.
Craft contests are so fun. My mom joined one like a couple of years back. She didn't win, but it was like cross stitch. And the thing with cross stitch, it's the same, right? Like the final product looks the same. So what they're judging is the technique. So like you have to show the back of your work, which I think is super funny because like with pottery, I understand it. Like the pots look different. But like with cross stitch, like the final product is literally the same. And you're judging the technique, which is fun.
Yeah, that is fun. Sam says the phrase "off the reservation," which is not fun, boo. And I know he keeps doing this. I know it happens in season 6 during a Sastiel moment, too. Evil. Right, but he says that Amanda was, quote-unquote, going off the reservation. And he thinks that the coven killed her because she was going too far. And Dean's like, well, I mean, if they killed her, like, I don't know, are they good? Are we good? And Sam's like, no, they're also doing black magic, so they need to be stopped. And Dean looks startled at this, because he goes, like, stopped, like, stopped? And Sam's like, yeah. Which...
Concerning.
Concerning, for sure. Because, yeah, I feel like we got a lot of season 1 Dean being an advocate for human murder and Sam being against it. And yeah, I mean, I know they're doing it on purpose, but it just makes me sad. And I feel like this is another reason that you need to tell other people about the supernatural. Like, the justice system is broken, but I think it is better than just a group of vigilantes killing when they decide that someone is doing something wrong. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, right, there's, like, no way, like, they think that the only way to get them to stop is to kill them because there's no, like, other passages through which you can prevent them from practicing black magic. But also, honestly, like, they just had, like, a fine conversation with them. And they know that the only thing that these three have been doing is winning raffles. I don't understand why they didn't consider just sitting down and talking to them first and going, hey,
no, but like,
stop it. What?
No, but like, they think they killed someone. Right?
Right.
They think they killed Amanda.
They do think that they killed Amanda. That is true.
But, so at this point, it's still quite reasonable.
They killed another person in their book club. It's very different from they're gonna kill these random people who are asking them to stop practicing black magic.
Yeah, perhaps. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that they should have murdered these women. But like... I mean, yeah. Maybe I should say that. Just to spice up our commentary on this episode. Sam should have killed those women, truth.
Oh, God, yeah. In scenes like this, I do think a lot about what my ex-fiance said about how Supernatural would be so much more fun if it was a lawyer show where Sam just defends or prosecutes people who are involved in the supernatural. But
Prosecutes?
I
What do you
mean,
mean?
in this particular case, he would be prosecuting the coven, right?
Ah, okay, got it.
Yeah,
Maybe it's a
but
class
in
action lawsuit. Yeah.
yeah,
So there's no prosecutor.
right. Yeah. And then in other cases, he would defend people who were possessed by demons or whatever because the murders aren't their fault, etc. But yeah, unfortunately, we have this show instead. So, yeah, Dean's like, they're human, Sam. And Sam goes, they're murderers. They do not kill anyone who is a murderer, though, right? Like,
Yeah.
have they encountered human murderers that aren't
Yeah.
involved in the supernatural before?
Yeah. The family one?
Oh yeah, the Benders. Right.
Yeah, and
I
they
guess
did the whole thing where it's like the cop who killed
that's true.
the Benders.
Yeah, the cop killed them, and then they were like, "Huh, well, we're
Let's
just not
lock
gonna
the little
pursue
girl in.
that."
Yeah, they just locked the little girl in a cabinet or something.
Did they really?
They did, but like the cops were coming, and it's like she's gonna
Okay.
survive.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess they are willing to like allow human murderers to die. But yeah, I do think that it is a little different when they're actively killing them. But yeah, whatever. Dean's like, okay, fine, sure, we'll kill them. And then the Impala starts to backfire.
Spotters. Yeah.
And guess who's there? It's our favorite girl. It's Ruby. Well, second
Hi,
favorite.
Ruby.
I like Bella better. Sorry, Ruby.
I
But
do
yeah,
like
it's
Bella
Ruby.
better. Yeah,
She's
it's
here.
Ruby, and she's looking so cool as usual.
Yeah.
I love her look so much because it's like
yeah.
she's blonde, and she, I like this blonde look she has going. I have no continuation to that thought, but so yeah. They step out and Ruby is like, listen to me, Sam. There's no time. You need to get out of here because and then like Dean raises the Colt and points it at her and she's like, point that thing away from me. And Dean is like, ha 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 ha, right, because we should definitely trust you, blah blah blah. And Ruby keeps on telling Sam that, like, you need to go to the car, drive off, and not look back because there's a demon in town and she's after you because, like, the demon that the witches are serving. And Dean just keeps on fucking going. He's like,
Oh, but
we can take care of a few witches.
We get our first
What?
W slur when Ruby says witches are whores. So
Yeah.
right, which is
Yeah.
why I think that the message of the story is not you shouldn't call women bitches because Ruby does quite a few misogynies this episode. I think it's just that she's special, so you shouldn't be allowed to call her a bitch because she's misogynistic too.
Yeah. Yeah, perhaps. Yeah. Dean is like, shut up, bitch. Yeah, you black-eyed skank.
Yeah.
It's horrible. Anyway.
Remember, I know that in a later episode he calls her, what is it, a sexy little Yoda?
That's really... That's so real. Every time I think about, like, the thing about Dean here is that he never actually, like, starts treating Ruby better. Like, yeah, there are moments where he's like, oh, I can empathize, blah, blah, blah. But pretty much the entire run of Ruby and Sam's arc together, Dean is like, I'm gonna call you bitch, I'm gonna call you skank, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Or at least that's how I remember it. And every time this happens, I remember a friend of mine saying that, like, Dean shouldn't have been the one who got the final stab at Ruby at the end of her arc when she dies. Because,
Yes.
like, the whole time, his arc with Ruby is just, he calls her a bitch over and over again and hates her and wants her dead. And now he kills her. And, like, that's not satisfying. And it should have been Sam. And every time Dean, like, interacts with Ruby, that's all I think about. I just think,
Yeah.
like, at the end, he's the one who gets to kill her. And how is that satisfying? How is
It
that,
is not.
like, yeah. So, that's, like, a particular reason why I hate this scene. Because I know how Ruby's story ends.
Right.
And I know by which hand she dies in. And I
Yeah.
hate that it's the guy who keeps calling her bitch.
Right.
And wants her dead. Yeah. Anyway, Dean literally pulls the trigger. I didn't know this. I didn't remember this. He literally pulls the fucking trigger at her. Like, he shoots her literally. And Sam just, like, throws himself at Dean in a way that, like, he shoves the gun to another direction. And that's the only reason why Ruby is not shot at.
I know in season 4, Dean, like, Sam has to, like, pull Dean away from literally killing Ruby plenty of times, too.
Yeah.
It sucks. Yeah, also
I
what causes Dean to pull the trigger is when Ruby says, "At least let me try and save Sam since you won't be here to do it anymore." And she's been riling him up saying, like, "Oh, you care about your brother so much, that's why you're gonna leave him and die in a few months." Which, God, she's so real.
She's so real.
Yeah. What do you think her motivations behind this are? Like, how much do you think she actually cares about Sam at this point?
You know what? Out of everything that I remember about Ruby's arc, I don't really remember her motivations. Like, I know that she is like,
blah, blah, blah.
Lucifer, blah, blah, blah. But, like, is the reveal at the end the only time that's revealed? It is, right? Like, we don't really get to see more of it in the moment.
There have been multiple times in this season where Sam's like, "Why are you doing this?" And she's like, "That's none of your business." So yeah, she keeps her cards close to her chest.
Yeah. And, like, when it's the reveal is really pretty much a plot twist for realsies.
Yeah.
And, yeah. So, I think here, like, there is a part of her, I think, who... Well, maybe this is just me speaking as a romantic at heart. But, like, I do think there is a part of her that, like, through the duration of this arc, actually, like, cares for Sam. Perhaps even love him. And, like, the bit at the end, I mean, we're skipping around a lot, but, like, there's a bit at the end of this episode where she goes, "I remember what it's like to be human." Like, is that for real? Or is she, like, playing the boys around? You know, stuff like that. And, like, I want to believe that a part of that is real. Like, she does remember what it's like to be human. And she does empathize with, like, Sam and Dean's situation. Or at least, well, Sam's situation. Stuff like that. So, that's my take.
Yeah. I generally agree. But I think I sort of view the way that she is acting towards Sam as stemming more about, like, her, like, faith and stuff. Like, Sam is going to hold her god in a few years. Like, he's a holy object, but, like, emphasis on both holy and also object to her, so I think she would get protective over how her holy object feels. So I feel like that's the main root of her emotion here. But yeah, I think maybe she's also trying to create more of a rift between the two of them, but also I'm not sure, because it seems like she needs Dean's help to toughen Sam up anyway. So it would make more sense for her to try to get his trust here instead of rile him up. So yeah, I feel like this is maybe her genuine emotion coming through, but as a result of her religion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So we cut to the motel. This is an interesting motel. First, we find out later when we look at the sign that it's called the Conquistador Motel. Awful.
Is it really?
Yes, there's a sign outside and it says Conquistador Motel.
Cool.
Cool. No need to unpack that. We can just think about it for a minute. Yeah, we don't know what state this is in, right? Because it didn't say in the title card. I am curious.
Well, I can look it up. There's
Okay.
it shows it in the wiki page, I feel like.
Okay.
Look, Massachusetts.
Huh. So that's quite
I have no idea where that
removed
is.
from. It's like in like New England, so like northeast.
Oh, okay, got it. I know what that is.
So yeah, so
It's New
not-
England.
It's sort of removed from where the main conquistador activity was, right? So, I don't know. I guess maybe it was removed enough that people thought that it was a fun aesthetic and not something terrible. But it's not that
Well,
removed.
I mean, when you say conquistador, what are you specifically referring to? Because I know conquistador as a word meaning conqueror, so like that's what it means to me.
I think it means to me specifically like the people from Spain who came over to the Americas and fucked over a bunch of indigenous people.
Yeah, okay. I was like thinking the more general, but like in there it's like referred specifically to to the ones who went to the Americas.
Yeah, usually in America that's what it refers to. Yeah, so, fascinating. Also, like, the walls are orange and they're painted with, like, the thickest, like, oil painty brush strokes ever. Like, you can see the ridges. This room
looks horrendous. This room looks horrendous. It looks so bad. I support it, honestly. They should have done the bit. I mean, every time we see a terrible motel room, my mind immediately goes, they should have done the bit that they did in the Sarah episode in Provenance. Yeah. Where they literally stopped just to observe the motel room. Yeah. I think they should have done it here.
I agree. It's so ugly. So, Sam and Dean are arguing, and Dean's all like, she's a demon, like, what the hell were you thinking? Sam's like, what the hell was I thinking? And Dean's doing the whole, like, all demons want us dead, and we want all demons dead. And Sam's like, remember Casey? You didn't want her dead. And Dean's like, yeah, well, she wasn't stringing me along like a fish on a hook.
She literally was, though.
She was, though. She truly, genuinely was. And Sam says, like, I'm not being stupid here. I know that she's dangerous, but I also know that she's useful. Sam says some pretty good lines during this argument. When Dean says that we should kill her, Sam's like, kill her with the gun she fixed for us. And he also says, Dean, if she wants us dead, all she has to do is stop saving our lives. Which is, like, so true and so fun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she has saved their lives so much. She's literally the girl who saved your ass. They're in love.
That's so true. They're in love.
Not yet. They will be.
They will be someday.
Yeah. And so Sam's saying, like, I'm just being strategic here because we're not just hunting anymore. We're at war.
When he said this, I literally cheered. I was like, they're at war! Because, like, that's one of the lines that Bobby says, or, like, whoever says it at the end of season 2. Or beginning of season 3 or whatever.
Ellen says it?
Ellen, yeah. I literally cheered. I was like, they're at war! It's so stupid. But, like, it's just one of those threads that have been dropped, you know? Like, they haven't said it in a while.
Yeah.
So whenever they say it, I'm like, they're at war, baby. Also, we haven't seen Ellen. What's the deal?
We haven't. I think they were like,
And we haven't seen
have
Joe.
enough women, and they're both blonde too. No more blonde women.
Yeah. For real. Wait, is Bella blonde? Kinda.
Well,
She's
like
she's
I
like
feel
at the
she's
Dean
blonde.
territory. At the Dean territory of like blonde or brunette.
I mean, I don't think Dean
Are we
is
getting into
blonde.
that?
I don't think Dean is blonde, but for some reason I think Bella is blonde. Maybe just because she has blonde energy. But,
Do you think Dean does not have blonde energy?
I mean, okay, he doesn't have brunette energy, though, because brunette energy is good. But he also doesn't have blonde energy. He just has terrible guy energy. And that can be any
Also,
hair color.
I want to point out that, like, this entire episode, they both look so old. When I see GIF sets from this episode, I always think it's, like, from season 4, 5, or 6.
Huh.
So, like, when he was, like, because I see a lot of GIF sets of him vomiting up from the blood from the hex thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen GIF sets of that?
I have not. Why do people want to see that? Is it a horny thing?
I hope not. But like I've seen GIF sets of that, and I remember thinking, "Oh, this is from season 6," but it's not. It's from season 3, and both Sam and Dean look so old this episode. Like I think something with Sam's hair. He has his bangs. Like he doesn't have bangs anymore. This is the transition. Second half of season 3, that's when they start looking old.
Oh, sad.
And we are on the second half of season 3. Can you believe it? Can you fucking believe it? Second half.
I know. It is going.
We're getting
real
there.
Fast.
It's
we're so
near,
close.
baby.
We're so close.
We're so close.
So, yeah, okay. I don't think I cheered at We're at War. Honestly, the war thing annoys me. They only let out 200 demons, and they kill like a demon a day, and they can't really make new demons either. Like, they'll be done in less than a year. Like, get over it.
I mean, like, there was a time where 200 in a battlefield is a lot, right? Just not
there was
anymore.
A time, but
yeah.
There's other hunters too. Like, I'm sure there's about, like, 5 demons dying a day. They'll be done in 2 months. Like, that's not a war. There are wars that are, like, 7 years, like, old or whatever. Dean starts asking Sam, like, are you feeling okay? Did you come back wrong?
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's saying that, you know, it's weird that you're taking advice from a demon and you don't seem to care about killing people when it used to make you feel super guilty. And Sam says, like, well, yeah, but that's never gotten me anywhere. And Dean's like, no, but it's just what you're supposed to do. Like, it's just something we're supposed to argue about. And Sam's like, you're mad because I agree with you? And he's like, no, I'm just worried because you're not acting like yourself. And Sam says, well, yeah, I'm not acting myself because I don't have a choice. Because, Dean, you're leaving. Very fun euphemism. You're leaving, and I have to stay here, so if I'm gonna fight this war after you die, literally you don't have to, you'll be done in 2 months. Yeah, then I'm gonna have to change into you. I'm gonna have to be more like you. Which, yeah, I think, do you think this was a good reveal? I enjoyed it a bit.
the reason why Sam is acting different.
Yeah, I feel like that's been withheld from us for this season. So it's fun that it's finally coming up.
I mean, he didn't know about the deal when he killed Jake.
That's true.
And he was
That
already
part
different
was
back
not
then.
it.
Yeah.
That is true. So, right, you're right. This doesn't really cover all of the bases here.
I was like, this kind of stupid. That's my thought when I was when I was listening to this monologue.
Yeah. I think it just made me a bit emo because I hate the idea that the only way to fight a war is to shoot first and not care about the sanctity of human life. And I don't like that Supernatural backs this up, basically. So I think I liked it because it made me sad, and I was like, well, I haven't been sad about Supernatural in a while, so that must mean the writing's good.
I am sad about Supernatural constantly, and it's not about the writing. It's not about the quality of the... Well, it is. It is about the quality of the writing. So anyway, Dean starts, like, getting hurt. Like, he's, like, hunching over in pain, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh my god, it feels like there's knives inside of me. And then he gets on the floor. He's having a rough time. And he's like, it's the coven. It must be the coven. And so Sam, like, starts ripping up the mattress.
Yeah.
Well, at first he, like, looks for the hex bag and he can't find it. He rips up the mattress. It's not there. And he's like, fuck, I need to go to the coven. And so he drives there. Yeah. And he brought the Colt. And then he opens the door. And
why did he need the Colt? Oh, right, because one of them is a demon. Yeah, but I feel like...
Well, no, because he didn't have witch-killing bullets.
But do they... Okay, wait. Okay, so even these witches require witch-killing bullets?
I suppose so.
I still don't understand the witch-killing bullets thing. Do you understand it? Can you explain it?
I think there's, like, inscriptions on the bullet. Like, there's carvings on it.
Okay, but why can't regular bullets kill witches?
Because, like, it makes them, like, they're immune in some way. I have no fucking idea.
These are suburban wives who go to a book club and chant sometimes.
I mean, they are considered witches, though. I mean, one of my favorite, like, things that people have said on the internet is that there should have been an episode of Supernatural towards the end where they realize that Sam cannot be hurt by bullets that are just regular. Like, he already needs witch-killing bullets. That's, like, my favorite thing. So, like, I like to believe that you don't need to be fully committed to the witchcraft to become a, quote, witch. So like... Just for that reason solely.
Okay, so, like, you do one spell and... you have to be killed by witch-killing bullets. Like, they make hex bags in future seasons.
It's confusing, because this episode, they make it seem like even innocent wishes are, like innocent witchcraftery. It's like selling your soul to a demon. But, like, Sam wouldn't partake in it then, if that's the truth. And which demon was Rowena selling her soul to? Like, what? Yeah, these are questions that bother me.
Yeah, I don't think she was. She was just being cool.
Yeah. Maybe that's a different brand of witchcraft.
Maybe. Oh, right, because there's people who are born witches.
Oh, yeah. Right? Is that true? I don't know.
Yeah, I think
maybe they were, like, brought up.
And people, yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know.
They were raised, yeah. They're raised as witches.
Yes.
Yeah. You're culturally a witch, you know? And Sam pulls up and he's in the Coven's house and they're like, oh my god! What are you doing here? Why do you have a gun? And he's like, if you know who I am, then you know what this gun is. So stop the curse. Stop cursing my brother. And they're all three of them are in the corner like, we're not trying to curse the brother. We're just trying to get her mortgage to go down.
So true. That's so sweet. Aw.
Yeah. And she's like, we're not hurting anyone. We don't even know your brother. And Sam goes, like, stop the spell. I'll give you 5 seconds. And then he starts counting down. Like, he goes 5, 4. What is your opinion of, like, cunt Sam? What's your opinion of this guy? I like it. I like it. Like, morally, I disagree. But I like it.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't have much of an opinion either way on what was going on. Like, yeah, whatever. Do whatever you want, dude.
I forgot to mention the other part of this scene, which is that Ruby barges into Dean's room, and it's like, "Oh, you're dying."
The only thing
and
Ruby
then
did wrong was saving Dean's life.
Anyway, she like pins Dean on the bed and like makes him swallow this black liquid, and he's like gurgling the blood, and he's like, "Oh."
And calling her a bitch the whole time.
Yeah. And then he like survives. It saves his life. And then she goes, stop calling me bitch. Yeah, and meanwhile, Sam is still there. And he figures out who the demon is. Because, what's her name? Tammy is the only person in the group who has not had any like good fortune recently. So he figures out that maybe she doesn't need a good fortune because she's already getting what she wants, which is the souls of these women. And so yeah.
And part 2 of the Dean and Ruby scene is that Ruby and Dean are talking post her saving his life, and she says, like, hey, like, do not fucking point the Colt at me anymore. And Dean's like, you saved my life. And he also says that the stuff that she put in his mouth tasted like ass. Dean eats ass confirmed. And Ruby says that it's called witchcraft short bus, which is not an insult that I've heard before. But yeah, Dean 5'2" confirmed. And she walks out and Dean goes like, you're the short bus. What's Katie Cassidy's height? I'm gonna look it up. Okay, she is 5'7".
She's so pretty. Well, it's different. This one says she's 168.9.
Anyway, so she's like half a foot shorter than Dean.
Yeah.
Or half a foot shorter than Jensen Ackles and half a foot taller than Dean Winchester, is what I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, back in the house. Yeah, back in Renee's house. Tammy is like, I have to stop pretending now. And then she takes off her look and her eyes turn black. And it's super fun. And yeah, I mean, she kills one of the women. Because one of them was like, what happened to you? And she's like, okay, you get to die now. And she kills them.
Yeah,
fun.
Sorry, Renee.
Sorry, Renee Van Allen.
Yeah, you don't get to enjoy your reduced mortgage anymore. Oh, also, when Tammy does her reveal, she tells Sam, nice dick work, Magnum. And I know a dick is like a private investigator, but like, alright.
Yeah.
And Elizabeth is
Sam
screaming.
shoots.
What?
Sam shoots.
Sam shoots at. Right. Sam shoots at Tammy, and she stops the bullet mid-air, and it falls to the ground. Very neat.
I mean,
And-
why can this random ass demon do this, but not Azazel?
Right. That's a good point. I
Well,
don't
whatever.
know. Maybe. Well, she's also.
He
a
needed to
witch.
die for plot reasons. Yeah, perhaps. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, so she has extra powers. Azazel was just a loser demon. Nothing else going on for him. So. Yeah, so she.
That's how I talk about myself. Like when people are like, "What are you up to?" "Oh, I'm just a loser demon. Nothing else going on with me."
Ugh. Yeah. And we also learn that, yeah, so Elizabeth and Renee apparently both sold their souls to Tammy the demon, because they were drawing on her power doing the witchcraft, and that they swore their servitude to her. So she has their souls. All I had to do was bring one good book to book club, and you ladies lined up to kiss my ass. Is the book she's referring to like a witchcraft book, or did she actually?
I think it's the witchcraft book.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want
But like,
to
I like to believe.
Yeah. that, she showed up with like On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous or something, and they were
Yeah.
like, damn.
She showed up. She showed up with Crush by Richard Sykin, and they were like, this one, she's staying in the club.
Yeah. So, yeah, she gets Sam pinned to a wall, and she's like, "Oh yeah, me and my friends have been looking for you." And Sam's like, "Oh yeah, because I'm supposed to lead like some piss poor demon army." And Tammy says, "No, you're not our messiah. We don't believe in you." Ugh, so fun. I love whenever they use religious language around the Lucifer stuff. Yeah, she says that there's a new leader who they are putting their support behind, but they're gonna have to kill Sam just, for PR. Do you know who this leader she's referring to is? Lilith?
Well, yeah.
Okay, fun.
I think so. I mean, that's what I remember.
Yeah, okay. So, she is about to kill Sam when Dean busts in with a gun. And Tammy throws him, like, against a wall, and the stunt actor for this did a very funny job. Like, did you notice that the way he was thrown just looked very silly?
No!
Okay, well,
But I think it's funny
describe
that
it.
you know this.
And then Ruby comes in, and she comes in, her hands are up, and she says, like, "Hey, I just want to talk." And Tammy's like, "Oh, so you made it out of the gate, so," and they clearly have a history. And Ruby says, like, "I've been lost without you, take me back. That's why I led the Winchesters here." And you see Dean, like, mouth, "Told you so," to Sam. So yeah, Ruby says, like, "I want to serve you again. I have wanted it, and I've wanted you for so long." And then we have
Fun
to see
stuff.
Dean's face again, and he's like,
Yeah!
"Huh,
He's
hot."
gay slug reacting or whatever the fuck that meme is.
What? What's the meme?
He's like gay slug reacting. Well, I don't know what the meme
homophobic
is.
slug reacting.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's Tabitha's URL, and you couldn't even bother
Yeah,
knowing
I'm
it.
sorry, Tabitha. Tabitha's getting a lot of mention recently, though, so that's my repayment.
Yeah, right, so they walk closer to each other, and Tammy says, "You were one of my best." But then Ruby pulls out her knife and tries to stab her, and fails. And we get the W slur again from Tammy, where she calls Ruby a lying whore. Ben Edlund, like, what's going on in your personal life? I'm confused.
Ben, we just want to know.
Ben, I
We
just
just
want to
have a
talk.
conversation,
Just checking
Ben.
in, Ben.
Yeah.
This is so much. Like, we've never gotten more than one an episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't, like, it's the fact that it's women saying it the whole time too also feels like I feel like something's going on, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's woman on woman violence.
Yeah. So we get a fight scene between Tammy and Ruby is not doing well. You know, she's bleeding, she has fallen on her back on the floor, and yeah, Tammy's hitting her with a fireplace poker, but during this distraction, Elizabeth runs over to the altar and starts casting a spell using a bunch of pins on Tammy. So yeah, Tammy's telling Ruby to, like, get up, come on. And then she starts lore dumping on Ruby's backstory. So she tells Sam and Dean, like, she was, like, one of my witches. I mentored her, and then I kicked her out a long time ago. So yeah, she was a witch back when she was human. Ooh, revealing things. Yeah, whatever. And so apparently Ruby went to hell because she sold herself to Tammy. And then she starts reciting an exorcism, and black smoke starts coming out of Ruby's mouth. Okay,
What is the rule here?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, so in most cases it just seems like a demon hearing an exorcism is enough to exorcise them. But, like, if you say it yourself, you're safe?
But it's a different one. It's a different one.
Right,
it's not the exorcism of the omnis blah blah blah. It's a different.
Okay, right. It's her witchcraft exorcism. So yeah, maybe that one's special and it doesn't apply to you. So Tammy doesn't finish her exorcism because she starts coughing up blood and pins from Elizabeth's spell. And this allows Sam and Dean to get released a bit. And then she just kills Elizabeth in, like, one fell fist clench. The, like, body count of this episode is really high.
Yeah.
Or
I was surprised that Elizabeth died.
Yeah, same. I thought
I was expecting her to be the last one to survive. Yeah.
Right, like, they did not do the saving people part of the hunting things saving people this episode. Like, no one survived except for, I guess, except for that white guy, whatever his name was. But, like, who gives a shit?
Who give a shit?
Yeah. And then while this is happening, Dean gets Ruby's demon knife and then stabs Tammy, like, a lot. Like, this is excessive. He stabs her a lot.
Over and over and over again.
Yeah, this isn't necessary. I don't get it.
I don't even, like, I mean, he doesn't even know that she cursed him.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. He just showed up.
He doesn't know that.
And she was, like, holding Sam up, so he was like, well, bad news. Right, like, so, there's no, like, particular reason
why
for
is
him
he
to
so
have
mad?
A grudge against her. I guess just, he said before that he hates witches. I think this is just him hating witches. This was for the
Yeah.
rabbit.
Yeah, this was for the rabbit.
Yeah.
Who she didn't even kill.
Yeah, who she didn't even kill. And I guess, should we mention that? I guess since Tammy and Ruby are had some amount of sexual tension, I guess this is another supernatural lesbian, maybe?
I think so. Yeah.
Well,
But
great.
the death speedrun,
Yeah.
it competes with even what's her name?
Lily?
Lily.
Lily? Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, we have, Ruby's I've wanted you for so long, and then like 2 minutes later, Tammy's dead. At least Ruby
At
gets
least
to
Ruby's
stick along.
alive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bisexual queen.
Yeah, good for her. And so Sam and Dean start heading out, and they pause to look at Ruby, and she tells them, like, go, I'll clean up this mess. And they linger a bit longer, and Ruby flashes her black eyes and says, go. What exactly, why did she want them to go that badly? I mean, I read it as, like, she was having an emotional moment that her mentor, who she does care for in some way, is dead, and she wanted some time alone with the body. What did you read it as?
I read it as embarrassment because they know about her backstory.
Is it an embarrassing backstory?
I have no idea, but like they treat it like it is.
Yeah, they do treat it like it's embarrassing.
But I think there's some vulnerability in knowing that a demon
Right.
used to be human.
Right. Yeah, because she has had this whole cool girl, like, performance
Thing,
that she's
yeah.
been putting
And then
on
now,
for both
like,
of them.
oh,
Yeah.
you were actually human, and then you were tortured in hell. Like, okay,
Yeah.
that makes
Yeah.
you vulnerable.
And also, she got beat up pretty bad during this fight, and I
Yeah.
feel like she's always been, like, untouched in all of the combat situations we've seen her in before.
But like
Yeah.
when she glared at them and like her eyes turned black, I was like, fuck, this is such a cool idea. Like the idea that they have a demon quote unquote friend, well, ally, I suppose.
Yeah, they're not nice.
It's such a good idea.
Yeah.
Like it's such a good idea. And a part of me was like, I'm glad they did it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it's
so
such
am
a good thought. Like honestly, like Ruby and Cass should have interacted more.
I know.
Like
I know,
Cass
I know.
got like the fact that Cass got to stay around, but Ruby didn't. Like they
Yeah.
brought back Cass so many times. Like that is misogyny, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think the more direct misogyny is that Anna was supposed to play the Cass role, and then
Oh,
they
yeah,
killed
yeah.
her off and gave Cass that role.
'Cause-
But yeah, I think that the Ruby thing is also... It's also questionable.
Yeah, and like I just think they should have interacted more because like she's a demon, but like
Mm.
she has ulterior motives, but like some of her
Yeah.
actions are good, and
Yeah.
with Cass it's the same, like but the
Yeah.
opposite. Like
They should have fucked Raw.
they should have.
Sad.
While there are other people who should have fucked her off.
Yeah. Right. But also, yeah, I mean, she was lying when she said she wanted Tammy to take her back, but, like, I don't know, like, what do you think her and Astaroth's relationship was like back during the Black Plague era?
Well, she did kick her out, right?
Yeah.
So probably not that good.
Yeah, but, like, did Ruby want... Like, kicking her out implies that Ruby wanted to stay. Right? So, like, it does... I don't know. I like to imagine a bit of an unrequited love thing going on there. Yeah, but,
Yeah.
you know, she's dead and it's over. Sorry.
Sad. Well, there's other unrequited loves in Supernatural.
Yeah, do you wanna...
Okay. Yeah. So, we get our ending scene. So, um, Dean walks out the motel room and into the like parking lot, and the signs start flickering, blah blah blah. And Ruby's there, and she's standing there. And Dean gets right on it. He's like, "Oh, you used to be human, huh?" And Ruby reveals that, yeah, and it's been so long since the Black Plague.
Yeah,
And
so that makes her, what, like 500 years old? When was the Black Plague? Oh no, that was in the 1300s.
I have no idea.
She's like 700 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ruby says, like, Dean says that it's a wonder why demons act so demonic. I mean, don't they remember being human? And Ruby goes, yeah, they don't. That's what happens when you go to hell, Dean. That's what hell is, forgetting who you are. Which is like, super ominous because Dean is going to hell.
Yeah.
And Ruby, like, Dean cracks a, well, I'm not here to get philosophy lessons from a demon. And Ruby says, it's not philosophy, it's not a metaphor, it is what happens. There's real fire in there. Yeah. And yeah, Ruby at some point goes like, it's yes, by the way. And Dina's like, what? And Ruby goes, the same thing will happen to you. You will turn into a fucking demon.
Yeah.
And Dean says, there's no way to save me from the pit, is there? And Ruby says, yeah. And Dean goes, why did you tell Sam you can, though? And then Ruby says that she's just trying to get into Sam's good graces. And she needs him to get past the demon part. And Dean is like still being a wisecrack, like he's still cracking jokes and stuff, and Ruby goes like, look at you trying to be so stoic. Like, it's heartwarming. Or well, it's heartbreaking. Yeah. And she finally says that she needs Dean's help, and she needs help with turning Sam into like a competent person and leader when Dean is not around anymore. And Dean asks like, why do you want us to win? And she says, I remember what it's like to be human. I wish I didn't, but she does.
I'm not like them. I'm not like other girls.
She says like, I wish I was like them, but I'm not. I'm not like other demons. And good for her. I know that's the end of the episode.
I feel like a lot of demons aren't like other demons, though.
Yeah, they're all different. It's literally just like the like other girls thing.
Yeah.
like you're not like other girls because every girl is different.
Right, yeah. I think that okay, like Dean has progressed because I feel like in the past, if Ruby was like, yeah, I lied about being able to get you out of hell, he would have killed her on the spot. But, like, I guess the reasons that she used to be human and due to having that claim to humanness...
And also, she did save their ass.
She did save their ass. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I'm just bothered by the supernatural thing that, like, goodness is just your proximity to humanity. Like, I feel like there are ways to be good and, like, be, like, fully a ghost or fully a demon or whatever, you know?
Like, it would have been nice if Dean's... It would have been nice if Dean's heel turn was, like, because Ruby saved her ass only.
Yeah.
And not because... he learned that, like, oh, she used to be human.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. What are your thoughts for this entire episode?
I mean, I liked getting Ruby backstory, and I thought that the Coven had some pretty funny moments. But, you know, misogyny exists. Yeah.
Well, I mean this episode was fine. I really liked last week's episode. So this episode fell a little bit flat because of that comparison because I really liked last week's. So, yeah.
Yeah.
How would you what's your best line, worst line?
God.
I have no recollection of any line in this episode. I think best line.
When Ruby says, I don't believe in the devil, she's literally so funny.
She's just lying. She's
Yeah,
straight up
I
lying.
love when women lie. What about you? Have you found... Oh, okay. I also really like if she wants us dead, all she has to do is stop saving our lives.
I think I like that as well. Because it's so true. It's so real. Yeah, I think I like the last Ruby line, like, I remember being human. Like, I remember. And Dean goes, remember what? And she goes, being human. I like that it's the last scene of the episode.
Yeah.
Like, we linger on that when it ends. And I
Right.
like that. I think that's effective.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like this episode
For the worst
is a very
line.
good Ruby episode. Probably just one of the lines where the W slur shows up. I don't care which
particularly
one.
didn't like... I particularly didn't like calling Ruby a skank. I don't like that word.
Yeah,
So,
it has a bad mouth feel.
yeah. Skank. Ugh.
Ugh.
Anyway. What's our ratings for the spreadsheet?
Okay, let's think. Well, misogyny...
For racism.
Okay, racism, I'd say they're still 1 for Off the Reservation and Janet being killed first.
Yeah, sure.
And also
Yeah.
Conquistador Motel. I feel like all those 3 together is enough to warrant
Can
a
count
point.
as 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I would say misogyny. 2 or 3.
yeah, I was also thinking 2 or 3.
How about we just give it a 3? If we're thinking 2 or 3, you know what? Let's just give it a 3.
Yeah, alright. Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Homophobia. There's none this episode.
Yeah, I mean, I guess...
Or
I
is
guess-
it
I guess
inherently
Tammy's-
homophobic too?
Because Tammy's a lesbian and they kill her? Or something?
Yeah, or like maybe Dean's like, huh?
Dean's like...
Reaction.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like there was something there.
It was so funny. Let's give him 1 point for that.
Yeah, let's just give him 1 point for that.
Yeah. IMDb rating.
Huh. I don't know. Because I feel like this is a decent episode, but also...
Yeah, it is.
I feel like people didn't like Ruby.
I would say I'll give this one an 8.3.
Okay, I'm gonna go a bit higher at an 8.4.
Okay, let's see. Oh, you're right. It's an 8.4.
Exciting. I feel like we've been doing a lot better this season.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Good to know. Alright, let's see what the people say.
Disappointing in a couple of ways. This review is from 2019, so it's kind of like a looking back review.
Got it.
Yeah, this one is talking about how Ben Edlund writes wacky episodes, and this one is so conventional. It's kind of like oh, okay. And they talk about how they don't really develop the witchcraft aspect of Ruby's personality.
That's true, yeah. I guess right now we don't know that yet, but I do think that it doesn't come up again in the future.
This one is like not feeling this season, and they say that the demon, so Ruby, doesn't feel like hundreds of years old.
That's
demon.
True. She does seem like she's like 30.
Aww. The only thing saving this season is the great acting and chemistry between Jensen and Jared. Good thing that they cast the perfect actors for this role.
No.
Because it seems like it's a point where their charisma and talent is what kept this show afloat during the writer's strike. Oh my god, this one says the episode that kills my love for Supernatural. You couldn't get more offensive if you made a list of misogynistic tropes and purposely tried to write them all.
So real. Okay, so they mentioned the title of... the title of this episode.
Malleus Malleficarum is one of the most hateful anti-women's creeds ever written, and was used as justification for a mass murder of actual women. Oh my god!
Oh.
Wait, let's look this shit up.
Okay, so it's a treatise on witchcraft. And yeah, okay, so it's like, here's what witchcraft is, and the death penalty is the only way to deal with witchcraft. Okay, and it looks like this text...
The book was later used by royal courts during the Renaissance and contributed to the increasingly brutal prosecution of witchcraft during the 16th and 17th centuries.
Jeez.
So it's like an actual, like... I thought it was a movie. But
it's usually a movie title on these things.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is an actual book that led to murders.
Yeah, led to, like, witch hunts, I suppose.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah, that's not cool.
Yeah. Yeah, the women in this episode are portrayed as varying degrees of stupid, shallow, greedy, and evil. And just to rub it in, and then they talk about, like, calling women horrible things.
Yeah.
Mostly coming from our hero's mouth. If you don't understand why this is not okay, please Google Feminism 101.
So
I support
true.
This.
Yeah. Wait, is the short bus a thing?
I don't know.
Wait, I just thought that they just put... Oh, shit! Okay. A short bus is like, okay, that's an actual thing. It's a school bus with a wheelchair lift.
Oh, no.
What the fuck is Supernatural? Oh my god. I thought bus was just a random word they put there. Jesus Christ. I'm really glad that these IMDb reviews are, like, informing us of the various awful things we missed about this episode. Jesus fuck. Okay.
And then this one just says, just a really bad episode. This episode really sucks compared to the other episodes. I support that.
So true. Well...
This one has a lot of recent reviews.
Yeah,
2019.
That's true.
This one is 2022. 2019, 2012, 2020, 2011. There's not much that are like from 2008, which is when this aired.
Yeah, no, that is new. I wonder, like, what caused that? Oh, okay, it aired on... Okay, when did Stacked Natural start?
I don't know. You think it's because of that?
Well, no, actually it can't be because a lot of these are from like 2019 and stuff, and Stack Natural was more recent than that.
Recent, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's it for this episode of Bus
No.
Station Beauties. No? Yes.
Yeah, that is. Although I do want to mention that the person who explained what the title of the episode was, this is the only IMDb review that they have written. So when they said that this
Yeah.
kills my love of Supernatural, yeah, I think that they actually stopped watching Supernatural after this. Good for them.
Yeah. Good for them. Yeah. So that's it for this episode of Bus Station Beauties. Next week we will be discussing Season 3, Episode 10, Dream a Little Dream of Me. Leave us a rating or a review wherever you get your podcasts.
Follow us on social media. We are on Twitter at twitter.com/beautiespodcast and on Tumblr at bustyasianbeautiespod.tumblr.com. Our official tag is BABPOD, BABPod, and thank you to everyone who's donated to our Ko-fi at ko-fi.com/bustyasianbeautiespod.
You can leave us any feedback, comments, or inquiries at bustyasianbeautiespod@gmail.com. See you guys next time. Bye.